Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Dying to DIY. It's me, Camaro, and we are back for day 18 of the 25 days of Christmas DIYs. This project is so stinking adorable. I love it so much. I am going to be showing you how I made this Christmas door hanger. This is actually for my mom. I made this for my mom, so can't wait to share this all with you guys. So let's get started. First, I am taking this wooden plank from Dollar Tree. This is from the Dollar Tree Plus section. And then I am taking this dark walnut stain from Varathane. And I'm just going to give this wood plaque a really good coat of that stain. I am staining the front and then, of course, also staining the sides as well. If you like to stain the back, to make sure everything is cohesive and looks one color, then go ahead and do that. I did not stain the back. It doesn't really bother me too much, but if it does for you, go ahead and stain every square inch. So once I was done coating everything, I just took a rag and I'm starting to wipe off all the excess stain. This is going to help it, dry quicker, and then it's also not going to be all like gooey and sticky. Next, I am taking some frog tape and I'm adding a strip closer to the top of this plaque, and then I'm also adding a strip towards the bottom of the plaque. No full measurements, I just did kind of what, however I saw fit. I am going to be working mostly into the middle, but I did want to paint some of these sections, so I just needed to tape them off first, so that way I have nice, clean, crisp, straight lines. And I also used my Cricut scraper tool to really scrape that tape into the wood, so that way there's no chance of the paint bleeding through. After that, I am taking this crimson color from Cali Art, and I'm just going to start painting each of those sections. Started with the bottom one, and I probably did about 4 coats, I would say. Unfortunately, with the stain on top of there, it already makes it dark, so I did have to do a couple of layers just to really get this red color to show. So in the future, if I were to do this again, I would, kind of eyeball and map out where majority of my project was going to be, where I was going to print the image or whatever, and then leave, stain that part and then leave the rest the natural wood color. So then that way it would allow the color to be more bright and bold once you put it on the natural wood rather than a stained piece of wood. So once I was done painting that bottom part, I thought maybe, okay, I'm going to add some green into this. So I just kind of, blocked off a smaller little strip there, and I started painting it green and whatnot, went through all the steps and the motions, and then I started painting the top red after I had let the green dry for a good amount of time, so I thought. But once I was done, with the 4 coats of red on the top part, once I pulled the tape back, it pulled off almost the entire strip of green. So I was getting frustrated and I was trying to keep it, and I did go back and try to just paint it without the tape and just use a straight edge to kind of fill in the gaps and stuff. But I didn't really end up liking the 2 colors together. I just thought it was going to be way more beautiful without the green strip. I do love the green, but I think I would like it much more on its own. So here, like I said, I did try to go in, with my straight edge and just fill in those lines and stuff, but ultimately I just decided against it, and I just went ahead and left it with, the solid red chunk at the bottom and then the solid red chunk at the top. And here is what it was looking like once I had, fixed everything, got rid of that green, added the red stripe. And then next I went to my Cricut machine and I printed out this design. I made this design on Canva, and I thought I was going to make shirts to, print and sell, but I didn't really get around to it this year, but I really loved the design. It says Merry Christmas, and it has a very prominent big giant cross in place of the T for Christmas. And then it has a nativity scene at the bottom, and I just think it is so beautiful. So I loved it, and I definitely wanted to use it in one of my projects this year. So I thought this would be the perfect project. So I just lined that up into the center where I had that stained section, and then I'm just pulling back my transfer tape, trying to go as slow as possible and pressing everything into the wood as hard as I possibly can. But no matter what I was doing or trying, this part was so tedious and kind of frustrating, not gonna lie. It took me a solid 15 minutes, maybe more, maybe 20, just to get the transfer tape off of the stencil and for the stencil to stay in place. So maybe some of you guys have some insight as to why. Is it because I didn't maybe seal it with Mod Podge? Did I not let the wood dry long enough with the stain on there? I really just don't know. So once I finally got the stencil on there, I just took some matte white paint from Apple Barrel, and I am just going in and painting inside of the stencil. But because of the whole debacle in the beginning, I really just slowed down and took my time because I wanted to make sure that the paint wasn't going to bleed underneath the stencil. So every time I was going, into a different section, I just really pressed down the edges there to kind of seal it off so that way the paint, is not going to bleed. And I did about 3 coats of the white paint for this just to make sure that the white was really just nice and bright and really prominent. So once I was done painting and let it dry, it was the moment of truth. I had to pull back the stencil, and I just went, nice and easy, nice and slow, making sure to pull up just the parts that were supposed to be pulled up. I was hoping that the paint wasn't so thick that it was going to peel. Some parts did end up bleeding through, but that's, perfectly fine. They were really small, like minute, like spots, so it wasn't too big of a deal. I just kind of scraped off the excess parts where they bled through, and then I just went back in with a paintbrush that had some of the stain just to go around it and kind of clean up those edges and make them like nice and crisp and clean. So I'm just going to let this part play just for a second because I think it's kind of like satisfying to see the image like come to life, when you're peeling off your vinyl or whatnot and like all the images start to show themselves. So fun! Okay, anyways, moving on. All right, so next step was to take these white wooden beads and some jute from Dollar Tree, and I just started stringing on those beads until I was happy with the length. Once I was happy with the length, I flipped over the plaque, and then I'm using my heavy-duty stapler, and then I'm just stapling down the ends of those strands into place. And I still wanted to dress this plaque up a little bit more, so I took these picks from the 99-cent only store and just kind of playing around with the placement. I wanted them to go more towards the top and kind of follow that like curve around the top. So once I was happy with that placement, again using my heavy-duty stapler and stapling those down into place as well. And then my last step was to take this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I just made a really simple bow to go off to the side of this little plaque, and I really thought this is what it needed, and it definitely brought it to life. So once I was done making that bow, I'm just gluing it down off to the side there next to, my little swag that I have at the top. And then lastly, I just dovetailed the ends of the little bow's legs, and that was it. Here is how this piece turned out. Oh my goodness, I am so in love. I love it so much, and I really hope my mom is going to love it as well. It's like a little surprise for her. She doesn't know I was making this, but she will now know once she sees this video. And then also I drop it off and bring it to her house. But anyways, yeah, I really hope you guys like this piece. This was really fun. I've never made a door hanger like this before, so it was really interesting and kind of eye-opening to see just like the process and kind of the troubles that you can run into. But I'm really happy with how it turned out, and hopefully you guys love it too. And that's all I really have for you guys. But before you go, stick around just a little bit longer and check out some of the things that I have made for previous days for the 25 days of DIYs. This project was from yesterday, and this was a Target dupe. I really love the way that these ones turned out. So classy, so high-end. Also another really beautiful one, another classy, elegant project. I love this Nativity and the way that one turned out. And actually this one is one of my mom's favorites. She actually called dibs on this one. She's like, if you don't have a home for that one, I will gladly take it off your hands. I was like, Mom, it is yours for sure. So, and then here are most of the rest of the ones. I think it's missing one. It was the cute Santa guy with the like little balloon ornament thing. I forgot to put him in here, so you guys will just have to go check out that video and see what he is all about. So many goodies and treasures. I would love for you guys to check all these videos out. You guys can make your way, backwards down the line, 17, 16, 15, so forth, or start at day 1 and make your way all the way to day 17. However you decide to do it is fine by me. I just would love for you guys to go check those out. Anyways, guys, that's going to be wrapping it up. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you're notified for future videos. I would love for you guys to join the Dying to DIY fam. For those that are just returning and have been here with me for so long, you guys know I appreciate you so very much. So thank you for spending your time with me, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for day 19.